Hi, welcome back to another podcast with Mr. Hagan. On this podcast, we are going to continue with the determinants of supply. To do so, we are going to analyze the good milk. And so we have the quantity of milk in the market. We have the price of milk. Here's my equilibrium price. Here's my equilibrium quantity. And we're going to say our real world event is, let's say we live in some town and there's 6 or 7 grocery stores, something like this. And one of the grocery stores goes out of business. So one of the grocery stores goes bankrupt, and they have to shut down. Okay, so one of the grocery stores goes bankrupt, they shut down and go out of business. So now as a result of that, there will be fewer grocery stores in town where we can buy milk. So my determinant is going to be a change in the number of suppliers. Change in the number of suppliers. And this is one of the most straightforward determinants. If you reduce the number of suppliers, if there's fewer suppliers providing milk in your town, then that's going to cause supply to decrease. Remember, decrease is a left shift, so the supply curve for milk is going to shift into the left. So the supply curve for milk is going to shift into the left. As the supply curve of milk shifts into the left, then we're going to end up at the new equilibrium point between the new supply curve and the old demand curve. And as a result of that, the price of milk the equilibrium price is going to rise, and the equilibrium quantity of milk traded in the market is going to fall. And so we could say that's going to be an increase in price of milk and a decrease in the quantity of milk. Now, that decrease in quantity, remember, that's going to get two different names, depending on what happened on the demand side and what happened on the supply side. On the demand side of the market, the demand curve didn't shift. We moved along the demand curve. That's in response to the higher price. So because the price went up, the quantity that the consumer is going to buy goes down. Remember, that arrow is pointing left, not up. So it's going to be a decrease in the quantity demanded, And then what about on the supply side? On the supply side, the supply curve shifted into the left. Left is a decrease, so that's going to be a decrease in supply. So let's look at our rule for this. This rule, again, is very straightforward. If you decrease the number of suppliers, that's what we did. That was our example. The supply curve will shift to the left. And alternatively, if you increase number of suppliers, maybe a new grocery store opens up in town, that's going to cause the supply curve to shift to the right. So that's pretty straightforward. Decrease number of suppliers, shift left. Increase number of suppliers, shift right. Determinant, change in number of suppliers. This has been another podcast with Mr. Hagan, and we'll see you on the next podcast.